right, everyone, this is Tim along my Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. You know what? We got to get this training camp started. We got to get into the season. I've been saying this every day. I'm grinding through the content. Why? Because I'm what they refer to as a content creator. I'm not going to use the excuse that there's no news or anything going on, so I shouldn't be creating content. No, that's what content creators do. They create content, and you should be, I guess, creative enough to do it. And I hope I am. So, you know what? I wanted to kind of go through, not really the mailbag, but I had mentioned the last couple days that I had done things for subscribers, and I did a video for one. So now I'm getting requests for answering questions, my thoughts on certain things. So, you know, of course, all reference to the New York Giants, and I kind of wanted to just go through them because I think some of them are some very interesting questions. And I think some of them are some valid points and possibly even some criticisms. So let's just start off with the top one. Number one, I'm not going to use the subscribers' names because I don't know if they want to be mentioned. I had a subscriber ask me that why do I do not do video player breakdowns of performance or just breakdowns of plays via video. And, you know, and it's a very simple reason why I don't do those types of things. And I'm going to tell you right now, because of the fact that unless you've truly played the game or you work in the game or you know the system that the team is running and you know the plays, it's an amateurish video. Because the fact that you are never going to be able to break down an actual player's performance without knowing certain variables. Now, I did video breakdown for 2 NFL teams, and I still won't do it because of the fact that I know all the nuances that go in. There's a checklist. You need to know the play. You need to know the assignment. You need to know if a player missed an assignment. You need to understand what a FB white right slot 3-7Y Z stick is. You need to know what the play call is. If you don't know what the play call is, you're just guessing. You have to know if the tackle missed the assignment, if the fullback was out of position, if there was a line adjustment or shift. You need to know what a bunch right tear / 3-7 weak FQ8 Z solid straight speed is. If you don't know what that is or what the team is running via their playbook, there's no way you can do an accurate breakdown. Some of the best plays ever are off broken plays or missed assignments. How are you going to know if a play is broken or an assignment is missed? Because of the fact that you don't even know what the play is. You get a play chart. When you break down footage for the NFL, you get a play chart. Every it is given to you on Monday or sometimes Sunday night, and you go through each individual play. You know which each play is. You know which each player's assignment is. Then you do the breakdown of that. And you're not breaking down the player's performance. You are just breaking down and isolating footage. So I'm not going to do even if I did it, it's still an amateurish thing to do. Because it's never going to be truly accurate unless you work for the organization. That's just my opinion. Question number 2. Mr. Gilmore, of course, in New England. Should the Giants go after and get Gilmore? Should they go trade him? Or even Harry, the wide receiver? No, the Giants aren't going to go after any of these guys. Not whatsoever. It's right now the Giants, if they do anything, they are going to look, of course, at the low-end free agent market for veteran minimum contracts to bring in. They're not going to escalate their cap for 2022 by bringing in any other big names that they are going to probably have to extend their contract because just to get them to fit under the cap. And like I said, our own capologist has come out and said, you know what? 2022 will be challenging. So they're not going to add any additional salary. They're going to have to dump a bunch of salary. They got 80 or 90 some players on the contract like every other team does. While Gilmore, and I don't see the benefit of bringing in someone like Gilmore because you want to draft a Robinson. You have to hope Isaac Yiadom can play better. You got Madre Harper you got to look into. Some people have hope for Sam Beal. I don't know why. I don't see it. But I don't see the Giants going after Gilmore or Harry. I don't see it at all. But you never know. But I don't personally see it. I had another good question or comment that Eli Manning was during Daniel Jones' rookie season basically came out and said that he's not here to mentor Daniel Jones. He's here to win football games. But now they're saying that Eli Manning's in the facility basically mentoring Daniel Jones again. And I don't see that as a catch-22 or a quandary. I think when you are trying, Eli in his final season, he was trying to win the job and win games. And that's understandable because you know what? As an NFL quarterback, yes, you are there to mentor your younger teammates, especially your replacement or your heir apparent at quarterback. But at the end of the day, you are still there to win ball games. That's going to be your sole job and your sole focus. And I think that's what I think that's what you need to focus on as an organization. Now, I think some people took it out of miscontext that he wasn't mentoring Daniel Jones at all. I think he was probably mentoring Daniel Jones. I think he was mentoring Daniel Jones quite a bit because he knew Eli Manning knew he had a short leash in reference to the number of the ability to stay on the field, especially that final season. So I don't think that I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's great that the Giants brought him back in. I think they brought him back into the position that they said he did because he's community relations and playing all this stuff. I think that's just because of the fact that they're trying to, I think they were just trying to get him in the building to mentor Daniel Jones. And I don't think Eli wanted to work the grind of a coach or a quarterback's coach, the daily grind, because he just retired a couple of years ago. So what's a better way than to give him a front office job and still have him come in and mentor Daniel Jones? I think it's a fantastic idea. Another question I had was about Mr. Ojulari. A couple of people were questioning the fact that I thought Ojulari could win Defensive Rookie of the Year. A lot of people will point to the fact that he's raw, that he has talent, but it was raw talent. Well, Gregory Rousseau is raw, and he had talent. And he went in the last part of the first round. And he's not going to be counted on in Buffalo to be that great pass rusher right out of the gate. The only problem is, and the only difference is Ojulari is coming into a situation where we have limited pass rushing ability, especially from the linebacker and the edge position. So I think at a default, Ojulari is going to play. I don't know if he's going to play extremely well in the beginning. I don't know if he's going to play poorly in the beginning. I don't know. But by default, he'll probably be on the field 70, 80% of the snaps. Where a person like Gregory Rousseau may only be on the field for 45% of the snaps. So I think in some ways he is going to get the sacks, or some sacks Ojulari is. In some ways he may get them by default, because not by default, that's a bad way to say it, but he may get them because of the fact of the amount of time that he is on the field, the amount of time that he is playing. And I think that's kind of where I was where I was kind of thinking about that idea in reference to him becoming that type of player. I know we answered this question, but someone also asked me about Harry, the wide receiver, the oft-injured wide receiver for the Pats, if we should go trade for him. And my answer is no. I mean, you have to see what you have on your roster. I think there won't be any big trades or anything, especially for the Giants or any other team, until after training camp or towards the end of the training camp. Because I have a feeling, like I said, a lot of teams, the rosters are kind of set outside of ancillary veteran minimum contracts. I don't think you're going to see a lot of player movement. And I don't think we need Harry. Right now, I don't think we do. Let's see, and that's the thing. Let's see what we have in camp. Let's see what some of these players are. Let's at least get to the first preseason game with the Jets. Let's see how Daniel Jones progresses. Let's see how the line works out. And that was another question I had about the offensive line. Do I think the offensive line is stable enough or better than 2020? I don't know, man. Losing Zeidler, I think that might come back to haunt us a little bit. You got a lot of question marks on the line. Zach Fulton's not filling me with confidence like Cam Fleming did last year. You don't know what Will Hernandez is going to do. You hope Shane Lemieux and Andrew Thomas are able to move forward into year 2. You hope Nick Gates is going to do something at center. I still think Nick Gates should be moved back over to guard. I think we need help at that guard position. You got to worry about the swing tackle position with Nate Solder. I mean, there's just too many question marks on the line right now. So I don't know if it's going to be better than last year. I don't know if it's going to be worse. My hope is it's a little better than last year, and the pass protection is better than last year, and we open up some holes on the run game. Because I think that's I think you can disguise lots of pass blocking deficiencies if you excel in the run game. That's just football 101. Because if you have teams worried about the run, then they're going to Then that should hopefully open up the playbook for play action. So, and with the wideouts that we have, you're hoping that Tony progresses. You hope that Kenny G does what he's supposed to do. You hope Darius Slayton's there. You hope Sterling Shepard's there. You hope Evan Ingram is a guy that can really focus and be the focal point. Another question I had again was about Evan Ingram. I still think Evan Ingram will be traded maybe by week 4 or 5. I mean, what's the use of unless you plan on signing him to a long-term contract after this year, what's the use of keeping him on the roster? Now, unless you think he's going to turn the corner and win you some games, then yeah, you keep him. But if you don't, if you don't think that's the case, you got to get rid of him because you got to get something for him. He had been with the team now. He would be with the team now for 5 years. So if you're not going to sign him, you got to trade him and try to get some value for him. And again, this is Ted with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could if you could subscribe, ring that bell, you think that means, that'd be awesome. Next!